Yeah, welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we talk about everything political from the conservative point of view, all the way from dog catcher to world leaders. We do it all so you can make an informed decision at the ballot box. We've got a great show for you tonight. We've got politicians saying, "Don't you know who I am?" while they're being arrested. We've got a case thrown out. Yes, one of Trump's cases. Not really thrown out, but the fine has been greatly reduced or eliminated. Also, we've got the National Guard taking over the police in Washington, D.C. Let's get this show on the road. Let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York, where they have, such mindful politicians running that state. Let's welcome Charles Galusky. Welcome, welcome.
Everybody in the chat.
Howdy, howdy. Good to
Judy,
see
Judy.
you. And how's weather in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's beautiful today.
Same
Absolutely
here.
beautiful. Just the right balance of clouds and sunshine, under 80 degrees, reasonable humidity. Beautiful.
Good, good, good. So Bill can't make it tonight, and we know Lloyd's probably tired from his trip coming back from Grand Junction today.
Isn't he still in the air?
He could be, I don't know, but we'll find out. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with the all the way to Providence, Rhode Island, where two ladies were asked to leave an establishment. They had been drinking quite a bit, and when the cops showed up and said, we're going to have you leave because you are a trespass. So, what does this person have to say? Don't you know who I am? I'm an AG. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought Democrats were all about, oh, you're not above the law. Yet they're the ones that pull this kind of stuff. Your thoughts?
What? She was the Attorney General of Rhode Island?
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, yeah, the cops put the cuffs on her and put her in the back of the vehicle, and she said, "You'll regret this." And she also asked them to turn their body cameras off. Which I just find funny how these people, they can't decide what side of the law they want to be on. Here, they think they're above the law, don't you know who I am? Or in the case of Washington, D.C., oh, no, the crime's not that bad. We could deal with it. Which just amazes me how the Democrats have tied themselves into a pretzel in which the only thing they've done is hurt their chances at the next election.
We don't want to tell them that.
Oh yeah, like they're watching this show. So, I mean, what are your thoughts about the whole feds taking over DC? I mean, it's really not a city because it is a District of Columbia. It's almost like between a state and a city.
Yeah, what it was supposed to be is an area where multiple states sort of ceded a little bit of property to the federal government.
Right.
Really, honestly, Washington D.C. is only supposed to be like a few city blocks.
Right.
They could actively just take the rest of it and give it back to the states and go, here's your
Right.
back. This is all we need right here.
Right.
So, I don't. Trump has not. Excuse me. What's the word? Now I keep on wanting to say overseeded, but I know that's a nonsense BS term.
Yeah.
He's not overreaching. He's
No.
not reaching his authority here. The only problem, it's not a problem I see with Trump, but people are saying that the Home Act, we should get rid of the Home Act. But if we get rid of the Home Act, then DC authority in DC will be given back to Congress, and I don't think we want that.
Interesting. Let's say hello to a couple of folks in the chat. We've got Chris Wedgeworth. Good to see you, Chris. It's been a long time. And we got Michael, Cool Cat.
Yep.
Always good to see you. So yeah, it's just crazy to watch these Democrats get all up in arms. Oh no, crime is not that bad. Yet their crime is out of control there. That's why otherwise Donald Trump wouldn't need to bring in the National Guard to clean up the place. And while they're there, they're actually uncovering some big shit going on there. Like they uncovered some illegals that were running guns there.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, wow. And it just boggles my mind that, I feel like I'm in an episode of The Twilight Zone where the Democrats are refusing help that could. The only reason they're doing this is because they're worried that Donald Trump's going to actually clean up the city, actually do something that's worthwhile. And it's like, why not just give them this and go on and fight another day? No, they gotta fight him every inch of the way instead of conceding this point and go on and actually bring up policy rather than going on this mantra, Orange Man bad.
Right. Well, the thing is, I forget what show I was listening to, because there's a couple shows online that I listen to. It may have been Film Thread, where they were talking about this is mostly about the culture war, but the whole idea was that the left had very slowly been, very subtly introducing the concepts that they want into society and into the world, and then somehow Obama disappointed them, and so when Obama didn't go full hog with them and start falling completely lockstep with the left, then they said, well, screw it, we're tired of being patient, and so they put the gas pedal to the floor and overcook the whole situation.
Right. Okay.
And so now that they've done that, they don't know what to do. They're like, it's like if you had a car and it stalled out, and so instead of trying to like start it a couple times without putting gas in it just to make sure it wasn't flooded. They're starting the car and hitting the accelerator full on again, and they just keep doing that.
Right.
Without kind of learning, hey, this is not the thing to do.
Right. Yeah. And yeah,
And that's why because it's not just with Trump, it's with everything. And the one thing I've kind of realized is that we may have won this this moment in the culture war, but I guarantee you that the people behind this have scuttled into the corner like cockroaches and are trying to figure out how to come back.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out in the coming months or years. Yeah. And I think the public is starting to get tired of this, and that's why Trump got reelected. Is they were just tired of these, not only just illegals coming across the border, but criminal illegals coming across and wreaking havoc on our cities. Like right here in Colorado, we had a Venezuelan gang take over a couple of apartments. Now we're finding out it's not just in Aurora, but it's in other places around the Denver metro area and down in Colorado Springs and Pueblo that they're doing all of this. And speaking of Venezuela, Trump has upped the bounty on the head of President Maduro. He's the one that's sending all these people over to this country. And it's not just Venezuelans. There were some Arab terrorists that they gave fake passports to come in the United States and have these sleeper cells come awake one day and really wreak havoc on the country. So we got that, and it's not just Iran. We got to deal with Venezuela. So we got to do something to help. I mean, because the people in Venezuela don't like the government, and we got to help them, overturn their government, help them out. And same with Iran, but Iran's a tough nut because they've got, a Soviet style police force or apparatus that keeps neighbor against neighbor. You can't trust anybody, and they've got to a point where everybody's afraid of everybody else. They can't say what's on their mind, otherwise being picked up by
over there, because it's a religious violation as well as a legal violation. You get you just get offed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So also on our agenda, looks like Trump's, Letitia James, she's the one that prosecuted this fraud that should have never been brought to the courts because there was no victim. There was no victim.
Right.
And
there was no fraud.
And the appellate court has struck down the fine, which was $500 million. So on one hand, Trump won that, but that doesn't mean they didn't find him not guilty of it. but according to what I've been reading, only uh, two of the five judges uh, agreed with the verdict. So, what does that mean? Does that mean he's exonerated? Or do you need to have a unanimous decision to be either
I don't
exonerated?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't because they weren't the appeal wasn't for the outcome of the trial. The appeal was for the verdict, I should say. The appeal was for the fine.
right. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they can appeal the verdict at this point or what.
It'll be interesting to hear about it. I mean, will it go all the way to the Supreme Court? I don't know if they have saying, so to speak, that they could carry this on because it's a state affair, you know, and
Yeah,
they made up this whole deal that Donald Trump defrauded this bank by overvaluating his property, and the bank agreed with everything he told them. You know, there was no fraud there. Nobody, there's no injured party. This kind of stuff goes on all the time. It's called a negotiation where
yeah,
you get come to an agreement where, all right, we agree on how much this is worth and how much collateral I have, and I agree with the terms of the interest rate and
yeah.
how many months I have to pay it and so forth.
And it was all paid
Everybody,
off.
yeah, and he paid it all off and with interest, and nobody lost money. Nobody was injured. No, it's like, wow, what's going on here? It's like,
Well, they said that the industry was injured by Trump's actions, and it's just like and then shortly afterwards you had I can't remember his real name, but he's Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. I can't remember his
oh,
real
that's
name.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yes, coming on and saying, "Look, everybody does this. There's
Right.
nothing illegal about it because everybody does this. Everybody overvalues. The bank says no, we don't think it's worth that much. They have a conversation.
Hmm.
Usually because it's the bank loaning the money, the bank gets its way. No big deal.
Right.
The loan is issued and it gets paid off.
Hmm. And Ronnie's got a good point here. He
Yeah,
said wars are big business. Bankers want wars so they can lend money at interest to both sides. Defense contractors want war. So, yep, that is true. That is true. I think with Trump's angle is he doesn't want to see any more people dying. He
yeah,
just wants, I'm sort of reminded of the Ferengis in Star Trek, where they talk about how war is profitable and not profitable. You know, sometimes peace is more profitable than war.
yes.
So, mhm. Huh. So what else is going on? We've got that. We've got Russians have just launched a bunch of cruise missiles and drones into Ukraine, something like over 500, and one of them struck a U.S. owned facility, killing one person.
Oh, did they? I heard that they had hit somewhere near. Oh, where was that place? Romania.
Romania.
They
That's
I had heard about a large Russian drone and missile attack that came awfully close to Romania, to the point where
Oh.
where NATO put jets up.
Okay. Well, this facility that the United States has is in the western part of the country, which is way far away from the battlefield, and so I'm wondering what's going to happen next. Trump tried to negotiate with Putin, but Putin's steadfast. He doesn't want just part of Ukraine. He wants the whole damn
Yeah.
thing. And you got people to the west. They don't want to see Russia expanding to the west. What they should have done is they shouldn't have tried to, put up these NATO states, like Finland and Poland. They should just left it, and I think Russia would have been okay with it because, with
Yeah.
us putting NATO, I mean, pretty much on their border, they get a little nervous.
Yep.
So, and we taught the Ukraine into giving up their nuclear weapons. If they would have kept their nuclear weapons, I don't think the Russians would have ever started this. It would really
Well, you
ended
never know.
bad.
Putin's kind of nuts.
Yes.
I think really.
Mm-hmm.
He might have gone in thinking, well, if we can get rid of their nuclear launch capabilities or the nuclear facilities in the first wave or two, then you know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm talking about the ICBMs that they gave up after the fall of the Soviet Union. We made an agreement with the Soviet, with Russia at the time that, all right, we'll hand over the missiles to you guys as long as you guys don't do anything to like invade the Ukraine or one of the other Eastern Bloc countries. But I think Putin wants to bring back the Soviet style regime, and their economy is horrible right now. And how much longer is he going to be able to do this before the oligarchs say, this is getting a little old. We need to, extricate ourselves from the situation and get whatever deal we could get. If we could, get the Donbass region, that'd be fine. And work out a deal. But who knows what's going on? They've got some really powerful, rich people in Russia.
Yeah.
And and they're the ones that are propping up Putin right now. If not, Putin would have been out a long time ago. They see something valuable by having him around, and screwing around with the West and really trying to get China to go after Taiwan. And I think China's watching what's going on in Ukraine and thinking, I don't know about invading Taiwan. We don't want to end up with, it could be an even bigger mess because it's not going to be just the people of Taiwan. It's going to involve that whole region. It's going to involve Japan, South Korea, the Philippines,
Yeah.
Indonesia, yeah, even Australia. It'll affect them as well. Ronnie wants to know if Lloyd's going to Minefield. I don't think so because I think he spent most of the money on his class reunion that he took this weekend, but he you you're he might try for next year to go either to Minefield or go back down to South Florida drone meetup. And I would really like to go back down to South Florida drone meetup. That was so much fun the last time I was there. And meeting all those people and flying drones and doing some fishing while I'm there. Uh, Cool Cat says, "You're right, Art. Prime Minister Queer Stalin and that French fella are panicking over Trump's effort to negotiate peace with Putin." Yeah, you're right because he's the mayor of London, and I guess he's kind of like Mamdani, who's running for mayor of New York. He's an anti-Semite. He's actually an Arab, so that sort of messes things up. Hmm. So what else is going on there? What's going on in your state? How anything interesting in the state legislature?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, here in Colorado, they just started the special session. So all the legislators are back in Denver because the state is in the hole, something like $2 to $5 billion,
Wow.
and they got to figure a way how to, recoup their losses, because they
Hmm.
can't run a deficit. They have to balance the books. So what are they going to do? They'll probably end up raising taxes, but they can't do that because we have this thing called TABOR, which is the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, which says that if you want to raise taxes, you have to go to the public and we'll vote on it. So what they've been doing for the last, 15 years or so, and with the help of a liberal state Supreme Court, they've been, instituting fees, so they keep, you know, bumping up the fees, like car
Hmm.
registrations
Yeah.
and fees for, owning a business and so forth. So, and that's how they do it. And the state Supreme Court says, no, it's not a tax, it's a fee. When in reality, it really is a tax because you are forcing a business or an entity to uh, pay some money for the privilege of doing business with the state. Yeah. And now they're talking about doing away with the emissions centers because they're finding out, with the cars are becoming more and more efficient and not really releasing a lot of pollutants that we really don't need an emissions testing center.
Well, that sounds like a good thing then.
Yeah, but it's also another money grab because every time you
Oh,
go there, you got to pay $50. And then if there's a problem, like, oh, you need to repair that oxygen sensor. There's always something that they'll find wrong, and
Yeah.
they'll they'll say, go, go get it fixed. And then you got to go back and pay another $50 to go through the whole thing. Mm-hmm.
Well, they kind of do that. Well, first of all, O2 sensors are horrible. They go bad all the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Especially in Volkswagens, because they put two in
Right.
there. They put one to monitor the air going into the catalytic converter, and then another one to monitor the air coming out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So me being a Beetle owner in the past, it was just horrible because you get one of those things go bad, and it's
Right.
$1,000. It's $1,000 repair job.
Right. Yeah. Well, I had the same thing happen to me last year, and it only cost me maybe under $100 for the parts. And I found a garage that would all they charged was the labor. That's it. So I had to do the oxygen sensor and the camshaft sensor that needed replacing too. So the whole thing cost me about $500 to do that. Now my check engine light is on again because I have an EGR valve that needs to be replaced. So I got that part. So I got to find out how much it costs to repair that, because I've looked on YouTube on how to replace that. Now, on a regular Toyota 4-cylinder, it's usually at the back of the motor and it's up by the windshield. It's real easy fix. But I've got a V6. And so they've got the valve put in a place that's not easily accessible for a common person. So it looks like I'm going to have to take it to a garage and have it done there. So hopefully it won't cost me too much to do this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, on VW the sensor, each sensor is like $120, and then the catalytic converter that goes in between them, which gets fried as well, is like
Right.
$700 just for that part.
Oh yeah, that could be expensive if you gotta replace the catalytic converter. But a lot
What
of
my one
time,
mechanic did is he did, what do they call it? California something or other, where they were able to legally delete one of the O2 sensors.
oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm.
But that's still an expensive job.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And while we don't have a specified emission center, they do an emissions check when I think it's bi-yearly when you get your vehicle inspected.
Right. Well, here in Colorado,
yearly.
there's two ways they could do it. They usually have these sensors that they put randomly on the road around town, and you drive by it, and it knows your driver's, the license plate, and that's how they're able to figure out it. And then because I have a used car, it's over 20 years old. I think every so often I have to go to an emissions testing center, and that's what I had to do last year. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I won't have to do it this year, and it's right about this time. I usually get a little letter in the mail saying, hey, it's time to pay for your tags, your registration. And a lot of times I could do all that stuff online. All I have to do is just go to the website and put in all the information that's on that little card, and then it'll go through and go, boop, you owe us this much. And then I could do electronically pay for it, which I, with my debit card, take care of that.
Yeah.
And then in about a week or 10 days, my tags show up and slap them on that baby. Yep.
Do you get new tags, new license plates all the time, or
Just
can't
new,
you just renew the same number?
just the tags are different every year. They change the colors. Yeah. Like I think last year it was green, and before that it was orange, and I think it'll be blue one year and it'll be red another year. I mean, that's how they can figure out who's got their tags up to date. It's by the color of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what else is going on? Oh, Conan O'Brien, he was at an awards event where he said that looks like late night television is going away. It just said it's time.
Well, I don't know if it'll go. I don't know. It seems like more leftists sort of, sky is falling kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they do need to get their crap together.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just need to be, go back to what worked. Like, hey, I don't know, be funny, be entertaining instead of lecturing us, and that's what killed Colbert, because his show just, it got to be, some guy shaking his finger at you, telling you what you should be doing, and bringing on nothing but leftist politicians or pundits on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, even before all that stuff started happening, I used to watch David Letterman, more regularly.
Right.
And then when he left and Colbert took over, it was like maybe a month before I stopped watching, because there's like, this is not funny. This is,
Mm-hmm.
And that was long before he started with the leftist crap.
Right.
He just wasn't funny. He wasn't creative.
Well, I used to watch Letterman, and then over the years, I saw how he started tacking towards the left.
Yeah.
And getting really ridiculous. And I go, he's just not funny. I'll just stick with the Jay Leno at the Tonight Show. Always funny. If he's going to do anything political, it'll be on both sides. He doesn't pick a side. He just, and he really does try to stay away from politics, unless there's something that's so, funny. I mean, all you had to do is watch Joe Biden over 4 years. I mean, that was a comedy gold mine that nobody tapped into. Falling off a bicycle, falling up the stairs, tripping over a sandbag.
Yeah.
And getting flustered and not knowing where he is in the speech. It's like, man, Huh. And so MSNBC is trying to rebrand its network. So it's now going to be called MS Now.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, are they sort of forced into that because of the Paramount Skydance thing?
It could be. I guess MS-13 was already taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it could be called More Shit Now, or Mostly Shit Now. Yeah. So I mean, how can you? The only way they can fix that is to overhaul the on-air talent. Get rid of
Right. Yeah.
Rachel Madcow and get some real reporters, because MSNBC is just nothing but a left-wing propaganda
Yeah.
machine, and that's why people stop watching it, because people don't like to be lectured, don't want to be told what to do, and they just want information, they want facts, and they want it now. They don't want.
Oh yeah. And the one thing that I started noticing about like 6 months ago or so is that I don't know if you'd be MSN or MSNBC, seemed to be like hijacking almost search results, where I'd type in a search result and I'd get a result, I'd click on it, and I'd get taken to the MSNBC site
Right.
to try to read the article that I wanted to read, which initially said nothing about being taken to MSNBC or
Right.
MSN. And I was like, okay, how do I get off of this and actually read the article that I want to read? And it was so hard; it was almost impossible. I hated that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just MSNBC or MSN. It'll take you to like the New York Times or the Washington Post. I mean, it'll take you to all the liberal sites instead of giving you what you want. Like how to cook chicken. It goes right to MSNBC.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't even like an article on MSNBC. It was an article on some other website. But somehow MSNBC had managed to find a way to insert themselves,
right,
so that I had to go there and then try to get to the other site. And I was like,
right.
you got to be kidding me. I don't want to.
They're hijacking.
I want to read all my stuff through MSNBC. I want to go right there.
Right. Okay, so Cool Cat said inflation of asset cases and subsequent fine of $400 million brought by Letitia James has been canceled by the appellate. Okay, good. And he also said mainstream media seems to be on their death throes. Yep, that's right. And citizen journalism. Well, that's what Breitbart was all about.
Yeah, that's what Elon Musk said. We are the media.
Right. And what I like to see happen is I like to see the universities just dismantle their journalism department, because it's not really journalism. It's just activism, So that's what needs. There's so many things I'd like to see happen with universities and colleges, to where get back.
They're trying to take that "if you see something, say something" attitude about journalism, which yes, but don't create the thing that you see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's. Uh, Originally, colleges and universities were about pushing people to, you know, expand their horizons.
Mhm.
Instead, now it's everybody is getting pushed into. You gotta like socialism because socialism is the way to go. And you try telling these people, well, it's failed in every country that's tried it. So they always come up with, oh, but we'll do it better. We'll do it right. We figured out what we did wrong. The problem is you do it and you get the same. It's sort of like insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they think they're going to do differently.
Yeah. Yep. That's right, Michael. From education to brainwashing. Yep. And that was one of the things the Soviet Union said, we're going to overthrow you, but we're not going to do it by military means. We're going to destroy
Yeah.
you from the inside. And they've done it. They've taken over the education system, and that's how we got these idiots that we have running our government. And it's not only it's on all levels of government. I mean, yeah, there's some Democrats that are, not that far extreme, but they all follow the same people because, it's their team that's leading the way, you know? And I think what's going to happen is over time, people are leaving the Democrat Party. And I think what Trump has set up, he's changed the Republican Party. He's turned it into something different, like the MAGA Party. And I had thought about this for the last couple of nights because the Republican Party here in Colorado is a mess. We've got factions fighting each other where I thought, you know what, if we could start a third party called the Colorado MAGA Party, and we'll take anybody that believes in freedom and liberty and the rule of law and prosperity. Come on in. The
Hmm.
Constitution. Yeah, you get. We'll take anybody. We don't care if you're gay, you're straight, whatever. And what I don't like about the Republican Party here in Colorado is you got one faction that doesn't want to have anything to do with gay conservatives. And it's like, well, you won't have much of a party if you exclude a lot of people that could help you out. And that's why we went from uh, having like 33% of the electorate. Now we're down to 20%. And we're getting smaller and smaller because, well, one part is Donald Trump because of the media perception of Donald Trump and how a lot of people that are not just far left but center left, they even hate him. And that's how we lost every statewide election. For governor, senator, attorney general, secretary of state, treasury. I mean, every uh, statewide election we've lost because most of the population is in the Front Range from Fort Collins all the way down to Pueblo. And Denver is the biggest population, and it's mostly Democrat. Where Colorado Springs, it's more conservative down there. And so maybe with this third party, we could get people that are tired of the Democrat Party. We could get some of the Republicans are pissed off at the Republican Party. Come on over, and then we get the people in the middle.
Well, what do you need to start a third party?
Pardon?
What would you need to start a third party?
What would I need to start?
Yeah.
To stop the nonsense, stop the Democrats from controlling.
No. I legally, what do you need to do to create
a
third party?
I would have to set up a committee with the Secretary of State, saying, "Hey, this is a new party. You know, we're not like the Libertarians or American Constitutional. You know, we're just a new party that we're starting." And then we have to set up rules to where, okay, who could run for office in our party? You know, like for state assembly or state senate or county commissioner and so forth. Yeah. And that takes money, and I think maybe with this third party we could really raise a lot more cash than the Republican Party can, because there are a lot of people that are that just won't donate to the Republican Party because of Donald Trump, and also you got the other factions that they don't want to contribute because they don't like the guy that won the primary. So we're going to take our money and we're going to put it into the Libertarian and try to. It's just really stupid shit that we do here in this state, you know. So
Well, if you can, if you do manage to be able to do that, don't associate yourself with MAGA, because the folks that don't like Donald Trump won't come on board your party if the word MAGA is in. Maybe you could just call yourselves, you know, the Colorado Conservative Coalition or something. The CCC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point.
I mean, you can still espouse America first and Colorado first policies, but
mm-hmm. Right. Good
don't
point.
wear red or orange hats. Maybe go with like a silvery gray and yellow gold, and
there you go. Cool. We could figure out what kind of mascot we could. We Democrats have the jackass, ironic, and the Republicans have the elephant, and the Libertarians have the Statue of Liberty. I wonder what our mascot's going to be.
well, the only thing wasn't there a football team or some sports team called the Colorado Cornhuskers?
That'd be Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah. University of Nebraska. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We did have the Denver Gold. That was the USFL team that we had here. And we got the Denver Nuggets. And we had the, oh God. Oh, we had the Rockies, which was the hockey team that moved to New Jersey and became the Devils. And yeah.
Well, I suppose you'd have to pick whatever costume would be easier for somebody to dress up in. Is it easier for them to dress up as a mountain or a gold nugget?
Mm, yeah, good point. Good point. Mm-hmm. So not a whole lot else is going on. It's starting to get cloudy here, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll get some rain this evening. The weather is supposed to change next week. We're going to be down in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Michael said the issue Dems as with the Labor Party. They're no longer liberal or even democratic. That's right. They've been captured by socialism, ideological extreme. Yep.
Be right back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the Democrats were small L liberalism or libertine. They were more about liberty and freedom, and yeah, the party has really changed over the years, and it's become more and more socialistic and more interested in ideological politics or the politics of different factions. That's why they glommed on to the LGBTQ plus crowd, right? And that's alienating a lot of people. I mean, because they're all well and good about that, but stop ramming that stuff down our throats.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see boys or men in women's locker rooms. You know, especially if you're a dad and you have a daughter that's changing in the locker room, and there's some dude there with his junk hanging out. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's
Oh, and
gonna
did you hear there was some girl identifying as a boy in the boys' locker room recording them in the locker room,
oh
and a couple of boys, like biological boys, complained, and they're the ones being punished.
oh yeah, crazy.
It's just ridiculous.
Yep. Alrighty, we're coming up on 1 hour. Boy,
Yeah.
we just kind of plowed through everything
Yeah.
pretty quickly. I was hoping Bill would join us. I guess he's putting a lot of hours at work, and I don't blame him for not wanting to come on. And he's probably tired of
Yeah.
talking politics, which we'll probably do on Saturday. So I'm not working Saturday, so I could go a little longer on Friday. The plant's going to be closed, or they're turning off the power. So I think they're putting in some new lights in the plant. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday. All right, everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. Hope you all had a great evening. I hope you learned something today. And Cool Cat, thank you for sharing all that information.
Yes.
Don't forget my regular drone show tomorrow, Drone and Entertainment. That'll be on. It'll be on an hour early. It'll be on at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern Time. So come on down, watch that show. Don't forget Bill's show which is on an hour later. He starts at 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 Central, 8 Eastern Time. So you all have a great weekend. Take care. God bless. Good night.
Good night, folks.